Welcome back, viewers, to this particular analysis of The Blossoms, which is a compulsory set book, the novel, examined both in paper 2 and in paper 3. Now, this particular FGM, which we started analyzing, is a journey of rescue. And that is now where we bring in the villain. A villain is an evil character in a book called Olarinkoi. Who can expound briefly about Olarinkoi and his contribution towards the plot development?
Olarinkoi, he's a man. He's just someone. He loved going to Olekailo's home just to lazy around, eat and all that. So people never really knew what his main name was at the house, but they just thought maybe he's just a guy who just comes, eats and all that. But then after Joseph Pamwat told them about who he was, like he was not known, people did not know him. Yeah, so he had many theories.
Yeah. So do you want to say that there was a connection between the legendary Olarinkoi and the real person of Olarinkoi in the house?
Yeah, because the legendary Olarinkoi and the present Olarinkoi, they are both mysterious because no one knew of what they wanted. No one knew of where they came from, because when the two girls, that's Tayo and Resian, asked Joseph Pamwat of who they were, he tells them that they don't have a standard origin.
Okay. So the presence of Olarinkoi in this house remains a mystery, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, somebody might want to say that women are their own worst causes of their own mistakes in this particular novel, that the predicament that women find themselves in is their own creation. Could that be a true statement?
Yes, it's a true statement, because when Joseph Pamwat was sent by Olekailo to teach the girls about the Nasila culture, Joseph Pamwat told the girls that women are their own enemies, because the women themselves are the one who started the female genital mutilation.
Yes, and they hold the key to come out of it.
Yes. Yeah.
Very well, a very good realization, isn't it?
Yes.
And you see that the war that the Ilarinkoni soldiers came, and they were the ones that were actually tormenting the women. It's long over, so they do not have any justifiable reasons as to why they should continue practicing this barbaric act, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so we totally agree on that. Okay, there's an English expression from the frying pan into the fire. This so-called, in quotes, salvaging Resian by this villain, do you think it was done from the heart? Was it genuine? Or he was just scheming so that he could, there was something that he was trying to hide that was to satisfy his selfish ego?
Yeah, according to me, out of the frying pan into the fire is a quote in the book that it's true that Resian, when he was at the Nasila River, Olarinkoi came and told Resian that he could take him to his mentor, Emakererei. Then on their way, he changed his mind and took Resian to his mother's home, and just to have him to have her as a wife, which is somehow selfish.
So in a nutshell, you are simply saying that Olarinkoi's motive was self-centered, isn't it?
Yeah.
Henry Olekulet has a tendency in which, when he is almost unleashing a bad premonition or something bizarre happening to a character, even the journey is described as very bumpers. Could you describe how the journey to Emakererei was?
Okay, so after Olarinkoi had gotten the trust from Resian when he told him that he was going to take her to a mentor, that is Emakererei, so she believed, and then she let him escort her there. And along the way, the roads were dusty, rough, and had a lot of burps. And yeah, the mosquitoes during the night, the cold, the dust, all those.
How do you protect a woman? You know, the two men are seated in the cabin, and Reshad is seated at the back of the truck. Is that how you come from Homa Bay? And I'm told your people know how to treat women very well. How are you supposed to treat a woman?
Yeah, that's true. We know how to treat women. No,
and you don't say it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yes.
No, that's not the way. That's not the case. And if you look at the intention of Olarinkoi,
putting her at the back of the truck,
it was not like kind of sort of good in intention of good behavior. So that's not the way Resian could be treated. Even she was to be taken to a Makerere, and not to be given, let's say, a lift to She Olarinkoi promised that he could take her to a Makerere, not just to take just keep her at the back of the truck and lift up to the Makerere.
So his motivation was, let me just pretend as if I'm salvaging her from a certain condition where she's running away from Oloisdori and the father, but ending up as my wife, isn't it? But still on the treatment of Resian, it tells us something about how this society treated women, isn't it? That women, I did start by telling you that this is a very patriarchal society, a very chauvinistic society, whereby a woman is left on her own devices. It is actually, it's not even God for us and everyone for himself. But I think the woman in this particular context played a second fiddle. That if you're born a woman in this particular society, you had really to have a thick skin of survival. And you have seen that from the consistent flow of Resian to actually try to achieve her intentions. Now, finally, the Nabaru coming in. How does Nabaru play a role in making sure that Resian ages closer to her dream of joining Egerton University?
Nabaru, she was an old woman.
Yes.
Who was told by Olarinkoi's mother to take care of Resian because, Resian had been raped by Olarinkoi.
Was it a rape or attempted rape? And you know we have to get textual information correct.
Let me support.
Was she raped? Was it an attempted rape?
She was raped because in the morning, like when you read the book, she woke up and found herself naked. Like she didn't know what had happened, so she was raped. However, they say she had beaten Olarinkoi's thumb, but then she was raped.
And I like that, opening up a very heated debate here. Was Resian raped?
Actually, she was not raped because in the story we see that Nabaru, when Resian woke up from her consciousness, Nabaru told her that she had lost a lot of blood from nose bleeding. And then towards the end of the story, the novel, we find so many times that they are saying that she was nearly assaulted. But
because let me get your sentiments.
I'm supporting my sister. Resian was raped because when you look at the incident between the mono-eyed witch, who's the mother to Olarinkoi, he touched Resian's stomach
to confirm
she was pregnant, which means that she was raped. Because you can't confirm.
Are you sure during the act the mother was present?
She was not
because
present.
And now how does the malaria case come in?
During the journey, sorry to interrupt, but during the journey, they say it was a hard journey. She was bitten by mosquitoes. Maybe the malaria came from there.
So the dark aspect here that we need to really get out is, was Resian raped or was she not raped? Yes.
I think she wasn't raped because even when Olarinkoi attempted to rape her, she tried to defend herself. And at the end of the story, as my sister said, they say much about the attempted rape. They say she was nearly assaulted, but she wasn't touched.
The authorial intrusion at the end of the play, the novel, sorry, talks of a near attempted rape. Are we together?
Yes.
So it wasn't clearly put that she was raped. The situation that she goes through is having been bitten by the mosquitoes. She actually, and you can see why Olarinkoi is banished, so that he should come back when she has recovered. And just like she puts it, she was on self-defense. Olarinkoi was put off having bitten his dump, and he actually did not manage to do what? To rape Resian. In most cases, in literature, protagonists that are supposed to tell the story to the logical conclusion and create the hero are actually not punished by the authors. That's why the sister, Tayo, will much later join her, having been circumcised. But Resian must go to the full hog as an intact whole character for us to see what? The struggle of a woman to the very final conclusion. It's important, students, that you get the textual information, because most students might say that Resian was raped, which will miss out on textual correctness, and they will be penalized on that. Okay, very well. Having a discussion about it, Nabaru, how does then Nabaru manage to flee Resian to the Minik?
So we are told that Nabaru, she left the house where she was taking care of Resian, and we are not told where she went, but she comes back with the lorry driver, and then she says that she had gone to look for him so that they could use that means of transport to get access to Minik's ranch. Yeah,
so there's that state of referee. When you go into like a dream, you say you can say it's a state of referee. And she's dreaming. There's usage of dreams. Before she comes with a truck, and at this particular time, Resian is cursing Nabaru. Why has she abandoned me at the 11th hour? What is the dream all about?
Yeah, the dream is all about Resian and the Olmurunya kind of sort of thing. Yeah, she was going to...
What was the circumcising weapon, a tool called?
Yeah.
There?
Yeah.
The Olmurunya.
Yeah.
And the circumciser?
Enkamratani.
Yeah. So Enkamratani and her Olmurunya.
Yeah. So she was going to be circumcised, and the dream goes that Resian was taken to the platform where she was going to be circumcised, and she saw the Monoid witch, the Kamrantan.
So at that particular time is when she realizes there's a knock on the door.
Yeah.
And just at the 11th hour, she's salvaged. Yeah. Finally, she arrives at the Minik. What happens at the Emakerere sheep ranch?
Yeah, she finds Emakerere, like she was at the ranch, and Resian tells her story, and then Minik shows her where she's going to stay.
Yeah.
And then,
she's welcomed by other workers. Are the two sisters reunited at the ranch? Is there a reunion?
Yes.
So after the escape of Resian, Tayo did not manage to run away from FGM.
Yes.
Eventually, Tayo was circumcised.
Yes.
And the process of being circumcised, also their friend Joseph Pamwat was killed in the action in the event of trying to save her from FGM. So
a very tragic event.
Yeah, it was a tragic event.
Yes.
So Tayo was later brought to the ranch.
Okay.
Yeah.
So very well. Joseph Pamwat killed almost towards to the end of the novel. Will you classify this novel as a tragedy or as a comedy? A tragedy is where characters have lost hope. There's a lot of disillusionment. Comedy is the celebration at the end of the novel. Tragedy or comedy, my students?
For me, I'll go with tragedy, because actually when I was reading this book by myself and saw all those stuff that Resian passed through, Tayo too, I almost cried because it was too much for them
very
to handle.
Very moving and very well. Tragedy or comedy?
To me, it was a tragedy because seeing the character of Joseph Pamwat in the book, I didn't expect him to die like that.
The death of Joseph Pamwat qualifies to be a tragedy? My brother?
According to me, it's a tragedy because I didn't expect Olosidori to be such a kind of a barbarian to take Olekailo's daughter that Resian denied. Resian was nowhere to be found. So Olosidori to make sure that he makes up the loan to cover for himself by the daughters. He takes Tayo, so it's a tragedy.
It's a tragedy. But at the very tail end of the novel, students, you see a celebratory remark made by the author, especially when the two girls received their admission letters to Egerton University. It is very easy to tell a comedy from the very start. What is the subject matter? What is the author pursuing? Does he achieve it at the tail end of the novel? And according to me, and literature has no absolute answer, but the very celebration of Tayo and Resian to join Egerton University could actually qualify this to be more of a comedy than a tragedy. Yes, in the essence, in any struggle, there must be casualties. Even in the independence of this country, some people died for the sake of this country to achieve its independence. True or false? True. So even in the quest, and you know FGM is not a walk in the park, to win the war against FGM, there must be casualties. There must be victims. In some political anecdotes, they talk of it's going to be messy, it's going to be noisy, it's going to have casualties. So I think if you asked my honest opinion, I would say that this is a comedy. This is the book that has talked about the quest for women empowerment, feminism. It has brought in the question of FGM. It has brought in the question of women empowerment. And I think it is more relevant, and maybe this is just an open question to any one of you as we come to the end of the novel. Is this book relevant to our own reading and our contemporary society as the 21st century students of literature?
Yeah, according to me, this book can answer some questions that many of us have been asking, like the early marriages. No, you can't force someone to marry someone that he or she does not like,
Very well.
Resian.
And you have just said that in a nutshell, and bringing in the thematic concern that marry the person you love, but not on materialism. Relevance of the book?
Yeah, so it's very relevant because it refers to the today's world, yeah. FGM is also being, it is something that is not really recommended.
Yes.
So the book tries to bring out what is also happening in today's world, because there are still forced marriages.
Yeah.
They still FGM still exists.
So it is quite relevant, being an anti-crusader against such an old and outdated cultural practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will you recommend this book to anybody, and why?
Yeah, so to sum up on what you said, I can say that this book has been really relevant to so many, to the whole society, because, as we know, there are some communities that are still practicing this GM thing, and then after, let's say, they read or they watch this, they know what happens in the story, then they know that what FGM causes to the females, they'll have that heart to just quit hurting the girls.
Okay, and with that, we come to the end of the analysis of the Blossoms of the Savannah. It has just been a micro class, but I know we have interacted with all the students in the 47 counties of this great country and even beyond. And until such a time when we shall have an opportunity to come in and do further analysis, it was a great pleasure from my students and myself, Mr. Otoa Sifuna. from M-Pesa Foundation Academy.
Thank you so much. You've done so well. We clap for Teacher Sifuna. So why do people fail literature? Because just sitting here watching this, and we haven't exhausted everything, but it's very easy to understand the story. So why is there no great success when it comes to literature and students passing that exam?
I think in terms of understanding the plot, most students have that upper hand. There's no student who will come out of the reading with maybe less than 40% understanding, even for the very low entry. Sharp students like these ones will gain over 80% reading. But where the problem comes in is question answering. They do not know the language of examination and how to go about with essay and excerpt questions.
Okay. And so what are teachers doing to solve that problem?
For us who have been examiners and mastered the new trends in the setting and exam scenarios, we keep on telling them. You know, these guys thrive when there is constant reminding. But I want to exonerate these ones. These ones, and most of them are in Form 3. I know these ones are very sharp, and I can foresee them get very good grades in English.
That's very true. So how did you find it, Georgina?
I find it very exciting, and it helps us get the more knowledge that we need to understand this set book particularly.
Okay. And you, Joseph, who you said men from Homa Bay know how to treat their women? I picked that one. Are you from Homa Bay?
And they don't say.
You're from Homa, so that is why you are teaching yourselves.
No. I'm speaking the reality.
You're speaking the reality. Okay. So how did you find this session?
It was interesting, and first and foremost, I would like to thank the media for housing us here, because it keeps the students out there to know that literature can do something to people's life. You know? Many of the students may take this literature thing as, let's say, an operation to them. No, it's just but understanding. Like most of our teachers, even I know even teachers of English or something, but they do the literature thing. There's the set books. It kind of gives us the understanding of the society, like the FGM thing.
Okay. And you, Terry, who will only marry for love and not material things, God bless you.
So for me it has been fun, and I've learned a lot. I've added so much knowledge of what I knew of this book from the ideas we have exchanged. And I know also I've helped someone out there that thought that literature was too hard, too boring. And this session was so fun.
Nice. Lucy, you're very vocal. You know how to express yourself. I like that.
Thank you. Actually, the session has been interesting. I want to thank the teachers because we have learned something. We've interacted with some other people out there we didn't know. You know, some are from bigger schools.
Even yours is a big one.
Just saying. It's just for fun. And I also want to really appreciate my teacher, Mr. Oma. He's my class teacher, by the way. And he has really given us this opportunity, and I know we'll just get something from this and add it to our minds.
So you have actually praised your teacher on TV.
So much.
Utakuwa kwa shida wewe the next couple of months. So these books are for giving away. I'm just holding a few of them. They're supposed to be 23 in number, courtesy of Longhorn Publishers. I hope I'm right with that. 23 books for Blossoms of the Savannah. There's the books and the guide, which include an interview with the author. If you want this book, you just have to go to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, #KTN Life and Style. Let us know why you need it. I think we'll be giving some away to the students, yes? Okay, so a book for you. You mkono mlitoa wapi? Here.
They should be school books.
From the library.
You return the school books.
So you return the school books.
You are proud owners of...
So we have a lot more to give out. #KTN Life and Style. What do you want? Why do you want this book? What have you learned from today's conversation? We continue with this next week, another set book. We'll find out which one that will be. But for now, have a great Monday. Thank you, Teacher Sifuna.
Thank you so much.